Arrow Season 6, Episode 3, titled Next of Kin. And this one is another solid episode of Arrow. This is really solid. And what I really like from this episode is the main plot, which is Diggle is now the Green Arrow. Oliver has given up the mantle, but Diggle feels the responsibility. He feels the shoes, and he feels like, how did Oliver did this? I'm not the Green Arrow. I don't know how to shoot arrows. I don't know how to be a leader. Everybody has my back. Everybody's looking at me to see what I can do, and he feels a sense of responsibility that he thought he could do, but now he can't. I love that story. The stuff I don't like is two things. Is a villain, but a villain is the evil group of army people. A group of pissed off army people, which has felt very generic, and they were just there to move the plot along and have a cool ass fight scene in a car, where it's like, we're just going to film the fight scene out through a car window, and that was like, that's creative. I love that. I love that fight scene. But said that the villain was weak. And also, oh dear, they bring back probably what made season 3, season 4 such a piss poor seasons. Those two seasons is simply this. At the end, they bring back olicity. They bring back the relationship between Oliver Queen and Felicity Spoke. And my opinion is, to quote the Angels, no way, get fuck off. Because that, as I said, dragged that season and made the season just bad. And the moment it got a good episode, it followed by a bad episode that took the rest of that episode that was good down. I mean, I remember this moment, and I think everybody remembers this moment where Oliver finds out that he has a kid, that he has William. But the mother says, you can't tell anyone, right? If you tell anyone, I'm not going to let you see your son. And Oliver's like, fine. Felicity finds out, right? And she's like, when did you have a kid? Right? And Oliver explains to her that, I can't tell anyone, or I can't see my kid. And her reaction is, well, you should have told me. The mother said the exact same thing that Oliver told her. Her reaction is, yeah, well, still, you should have told me. That made the whole world who watched the show shaken in fear and shaken that, holy crap, this is the worst election I've seen from any of the DC shows. I don't want this election back. I thought we ended it with like the third to last episode of last season. Why? Why do you guys always bring it back? Is it because all of those fans out there who's like, that's Felicity and Oliver are not together. Why are they not together? Because the comic book or the people who watch this show, who are not dying into the Vampire Diary bullshit, didn't like this relationship. And also, I have to say this. If a male character, if your show is centered around a male character or centered around a female character, and they are friends with that one of their best friends is by someone by the opposite sex, that doesn't mean they need to be a couple. They can just be friends. And I hope that, I don't know if it's middle-aged women, I don't know it's young, I don't know it's teenage girls, or women in their early 20s who are like, no, men and women can't be friends. And I'm like, on TV in general, it bugs me up. But time for speculation time. My speculations for a couple of things. Basically at the end. we find out that the FBI agent pretty much knows a little bit more than most people do. She finds out that, the Green Arrow is not shooting any arrows. Weird. And I felt like, at the end with the picture of Diggle, I felt like she knows a little bit more. She has an inside man. She maybe knows, maybe the basics of, okay, the Queen's the Green Arrow, and there's his base, and he has a team, and stuff, so forth. But she doesn't know the full picture. And I think she has an inside man. And 2, at the end, when Diggle adjusts himself with a sort of liquid to make his addition non-lethal, the whole him playing shaky cam that makes him not aim anymore. I have a speculation that's Venom. Now, if you don't know what Venom is, no, I'm not talking about the Spider-Man Venom. In the DC comics, Venom is kind of known to be the ultimate steroid. Steroid on times 1,000. It's the thing that Bane, the Batman villain, ejects himself every time. If you see any Batman thing that has Bane in, and Bane is attacking, is attached to himself by some 10 tubes, and he's ejecting himself with Venom, which is making him extra strong than normal. And it's funny enough that he is ejected by Venom due to the fact he broke Batman's back and he didn't have any Venom then. So it's interesting that, but it's a lot of episodes. Just a few assertions, a couple of things I'm not a big fan of, and the villain was weak, has a couple of speculations, but this is another sort of episode of Arrow.